You don't tell me to come here. For you to tell me to come here, tell me to come here. Tell me to come here. I say it. No. Without a magic word, tell me to come here again.
No, sit down.
Tell me to come here again.
What's good, squad? This your girl Kaylee, and I'm back with another BC Boss Chic recap and review of the Belle Collective. This is episode 5 called No Yams. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and say it. We are mad. We as in me is still mad. Still reeling off of episode 4 of the bad brunch behavior. So we're going to kick it off with that scene. They continued the brunch so that we could see what happened between Marie and Kaylin. Well, Marie stood up and said, "Tell me to come here again. Tell me to come here again." Miss Kaylin didn't say a word. Didn't say it again. She already said it too many times last time. So it was no need for the repeat. But Miss Dorothy Davis finally got the ladies to calm down, saying that we need to rise above this. No matter what was said, we need to get back to this brunch. So they got into the brunch, and Lateshia was finally able to make her announcement about Ferris Street. Everyone seemed interested. She expanded on her vision for the building. There, Antoinette, after walking Kaylin out and getting the conversation back onto the brunch and the Ferris Street rebuild, she was able to sit down and hear what Lateshia had to say, and she admitted that the vision that Lateshia has is much bigger than she imagined that it could have been, especially since she was not too keen on the brunches. So she admitted that the vision, is something that she is proud of, something that she could support. So again, she wanted a resource center and cafe downstairs, and an event center upstairs, a venue space for entrepreneurs to come and have workshops, whatever business events that they would like to have, they would have a space to do that. And they'll be welcome. The resources on how to start businesses and things like that will be available downstairs. It just looks like a great look for me. Immediately after, Marie and Essie went ahead and said, "We'll be your first investors." They got in, they got out. Thank you, ladies. That's a big thing, being a support system and actually putting actions behind those words. Get in there. Everyone toasted. They toasted to the vision, empowerment. That's what I like to see. Supporting other Black businesses. That's what I love to see. So, Melanie, Latrice's publicist, decided to take a visit to her in the next scene. They were discussing the essential hair care product line and how it seems a little bit tougher than they thought to get them into the major retail stores. Well, just the process of getting it up and going. But her goal is to get these hair products to go along with the hair into major stores. I support that as well. Get it how you live, ladies. Then Cliff, Zaddy, popped up. he gonna make his way into a scene, baby. He gonna make his way there. So he said he came to take her out to dinner because she had a rough day, so it's time to go out to dinner. But in the midst, he dropped a bomb. He said, your brother, he might be married. He said he married. So, Latrice went on to say that how her and her brother are close. They call themselves twins, even though they are years apart. Their birthday is like a day apart, so they call each other twin. She got a little bit emotional. I can understand why. Their relationship is close, so she felt some type of way about knowing this type of information. So she'll table that conversation for a later time so they can go out to eat. The next thing went over to Lateshia. She's home with her son. They're doing homework in the living room on the couch. And who pops up? Her husband. Her husband comes home. Glenn is his name. He comes home. She's enthusiastic. Everybody's hugging, smiling. The baby is missing on his dad, so they're loving on each other, they're catching up. And Lateshia decided to tell him about the brunch and finally getting her, her vision stated out to the ladies and everything. She's enthusiastic. She's excited. She's ready to get the ball rolling. She's ready to go for it. So she decides to tell him that, things are going to have to shift if I'm moving into this new phase. I can't exactly cater to you the way that, you're used to when you come home. He is an oil rig guy, so he's gone 28 days and home for about 2 weeks before he's off to his next mission. So, he's saying, I understand. She's just saying that the availability won't be, 100% like he's used to. He's used to being catered to like a king. And that's fine. But, at the same time, she has goals. So you gotta, it's a give and take. I'm not married, but I know there is a give and take. So she's wanting to, transition from not only the housewife, but the boss wife. He said he's supportive, but, he wants to know what kind of changes are going to come. Then it shoots over to Antoinette and Kaylin. Kaylin stopped by, and Antoinette was showing her the advancements that have been made to the dental practice. In the interview state, Antoinette was going on about how, she was in a space, Kaylin was in a space with these women where she got uncomfortable, but listening is a good point of reference when you're dealing with another demographic that you're not quite, used to in that dynamic. So tuck in your feelings. I like that she said that. Sometimes you have to sit down and listen. But when she got in front of her, it was more so babying her outbursts. Saying, I understand. Of course, it's always good for everybody to communicate the things that they don't understand, ask questions. But in this case, this outburst was not needed. So, Antoinette, I thought it would have been a good place to check your friend on a little bit more in a more calmer space. And also check her on the come here. You don't call for another woman like that. You don't call for me. I didn't send for you. Don't come for me. Don't tell me to come here. So that was just out of line. I would have just appreciated a little bit more checking on that point on how you communicate. I felt like the entire thing was trying to silence how Black women feel and the experience that they have had. You cannot silence me on the things that I have experienced because it is foreign to you. I, as a Black woman in Mississippi, I've worked at the postal office, and I've had a white woman come in and bring me back some Black history stamps because she said she thought that I would have had more use for them. Little things like that. You cannot negate what has happened to me. You cannot, erase what has happened to me and be mad when I express that. Those things do happen. Just because you don't do it, you can't speak for all white women or white men. You can't speak for the white race. If you're going to be an ally, be an ally. Be an ally without trying to downplay, our experiences. Just listen, take them for what they are. It does not have anything to do with you. Don't be that friend to say, hey, I'm not racist because I have Black friends, so therefore white people can't be racist. But kudos on the advancements to the dental practice. I see you, girl. So it shot over back to Lateshia. She's home the next morning making business calls. She's on it. She has her sticky notes everywhere. Everything is going good with her calls. She's calling different people. And her husband wakes up. There's no food out for him. He's calling her. She's not answering. So he sees her on the phone making these calls. And she sees him seeing her making these phone calls. So he decides it's time to clean. He turns on the vacuum cleaner and
we've had appraisals, everything. They're telling me that it's $75 per square. It's about 9,000 square, roughly. Hold on. Glenn is having a temper tantrum. Glenn is doing this on purpose.
Just making noise while she's making these phone calls. And she's like, turn it down. So she finally got done with her call. And she was like, what's going on? What's wrong? And he's saying that ain't no yams in the kitchen and ain't no yams in the bedroom. So he's upset because she's not catering to him like he's used to when he comes home. Yes, Lateshia, you probably should have cooked a little bit of something for him and set it out to the side with a note saying, your breakfast is here. And then got to the calls. I've seen a lot of people comment that to you on Twitter. But yeah, next point of reference, you could still, he probably missed a good home cooked meal from his woman in a minute. So yeah. But, sir, you interrupt him while she doing business. Now, she told you it was going to be some changes. I guess you didn't realize those changes were in effect, like now. So she on it. Like, her momentum is high. Her momentum is very, very high. And he said, now you doing all of this, and now I'm stuck doing all the work at the house. I got to put on an apron. She was like, what's wrong with you putting on an apron? He said, apron don't fit me. So, they having these conversations about, him not agreeing with, her taking on more things that will take away from him doing things for him and the baby. He wants to do a contract with her and says she has 14 days to talk to him about this contract. I don't know what's going to happen after these 14 days. I want to know what's going to be in this contract. She's explaining that she's put a lot on hold, to make him happy and make him feel like a king, doing the things that he has wanted and needed over the years. Now it's time for her to do something for her, and he knows that this is her dream. Again, guys, this is about compromise. This is about working together. This is about supporting each other. This goes for the husbands and wives too. So, she mentioned even vow renewal. They're supposed to do a vow renewal. And she was like, what's up with the proposal? It's some things that need to be worked out. So he's not doing a proposal until, they talk about this contract. So it's just, it seems like a lot of, it's me. Y'all work it out. So it gets to Latrice. Latrice is home and her husband has gotten some food catered. They're having an event for two brothers that she lost. They have died and passed on years ago, but she says she does something in remembrance of them every year, so that they're doing something in the backyard this time. Her husband thought of a good idea to plant some trees in honor of the brothers. Great idea. I love it. That was sweet, Cliff. Her whole family is in the backyard. They got into a golf cart to go a little bit further to plant the trees. They had a thing about burying. She said, we're not burying today, we are planting. We are planting in remembrance. So that they are planting these trees. They're talking about memories that they've had with their brothers. With her brother, her mom was there, and some more brothers. And they're talking about memories, People are, expressing their feelings. Some are crying. And when it got to her bigger brother, the one who is supposed to be married now, his name is Derek. He didn't want to say anything and he walked off. Now, mind you, I think Derek has been in jail before. So that mentality, of not showing any weakness or emotion is probably there. After planting the trees, they got, together and she was talking to her brother so that they can hash some things out. And she was like, you've been avoiding my calls. You don't stop by no more. You don't let us come by no more. You don't come to no functions. What's going on? And she's at a point where she's fearing that she's going to lose another male figure in her life, another male, another brother. And she doesn't want to do that. So she wants to have this conversation. And he finally admitted that it means something to him that his family has taken in his baby's mom. The baby's mom is staying with his mother and his new girlfriend. Or he said if he was married, he would let her know. So he didn't give a yes or a no, but he said something important like that he would let her in on. But he has an issue with them taking in the baby's mom. And the other point of his new woman, Belinda thinks that the family does not like her. Now, Latrice admitted that she doesn't like some of her ways, which is understandable. But she doesn't have an issue with her. But I guess the feeling of, when you're feeling rejected by something, and that can weigh heavily on the brother. So I understand. So that's a good point of reference that they had this conversation so that they can talk about it a little bit deeper one-on-one with each party to set everyone at ease. Maybe some boundaries with the baby mom. Because at the same time, you are supposed to help if they are in need. I don't know this. We don't know the full situation of that. But good to have these conversations. You'll never know what's going on if you don't ask. People will never know what's going on if you don't tell. So I hope that the brother gets out of that mindset of not wanting to communicate. Communication is key. So she says she would like to have a sit down with Belinda so they can, clear the air. She doesn't want to lose her brother and their relationship over something as trivial as that. So I agree. It's time to break these curses, break these cycles. It's time to talk, people. It's time to support each other. If that's who he is choosing, see why. What's the good that he sees in her, so that you can understand, and maybe you can find it in them too. Like, I understand being protective. I'm protective of my family, my brothers and sisters, my friends, and I get the point of when you see something in people that's not quite right. But again, we have to remember it's not our decision, it's theirs. Be there for them. But I like this episode. It focused in on Latrice a little bit more since she was absent from the last episode. And it focused in on Lateshia's situation a little bit more. We see a little bit more of home now. But I loved it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys thought. I'll leave the link for a full episode in the description box so that you can check it out if you have not. Remember, I love you, and tell me how you bossing.